is Dae Gardens. This is episode 6. So happy for you guys to be joining again. And I want to shout out to you guys. You guys were just amazing last episode. We had over 3,000 views on the last episode, which was episode 5 with Essence. So shout out to Essence too, and letting everyone know about the trucking industry and sharing all the gems you were sharing. A little bit about today before we start on with our show. I want to let you guys know how important it is to vote, how important our voice is, how important this time is in our world today. I can't stress it enough. I know everyone's wondering, like, damn, who to vote for or what to vote for. Just get your ass up and go vote. Like, it's that simple. Shout out to Jess for making that possible. Just a beautiful bottle, which has a QR code where it helps you and allows you to register quickly right from the water bottle. So shout out to Jess. Much love to you guys. Don't forget that voter registration starts September 22nd here in California. Check with your local listings in your state to find out where you can vote and where you can register to vote. Now with that said, I have my homie, my good homie, Daebrian here. This guy is just amazing. I mean, I don't call too many people friends and family, but anyone I can always have just real conversations with, anyone that I've ever bumped heads with and still able to, continue a friendship with a good understanding. It's a blessing to keep around, and it's always good to have people like that around. So what's up, Daebrian? I mean, hey, what you been up to? I mean, good to see you.
Good to see you, man. Right? Yeah, I've been good, man. I just been just working, staying out of trouble. Just recently had to buy back my rights to my website. So I just got the rights back.
Nice.
Just ready to start, creating.
That's good. Your place is just amazing. That's where we are today, by the way. We're in Los Angeles, California. I said, you know what? I'm going to his house because I had to come see this. I'm tired of looking on Instagram, but tell us more about like what goes into your styling in your place. I mean, there's so many plants, there's so much color. Tell us like how you got into all that, like how it all started.
I think for me, it kind of really, when I knew that I really wanted to kind of do my place up was when the pandemic first hit. Like we had pieces, we had things here and there. I've always been really into art. Like Basquiat is one of my favorite artists. Okay. And then I had a friend do some pieces for me. And I'm heavily inspired by the skate culture as well because I skate. Totally. So when the pandemic hit, I was like, we have to be here and we have to be in here every day.
True.
So let me, let's put some money into this place. We're gonna be here for a while. Both me and my roommate are both single. We're like, if we ain't getting married no time soon, we're gonna be here until.
Right,
so let's make this place a castle. And so that's what I did, man.
Yeah, and it looks good. I love how you got the skateboards. You have, like you just said, you have a little bit of your personality on every wall and around. In the living room, with the hallways. I mean, everywhere is something nice. So what actually happened to the website? Like, why did you have to fight for the rights for your website back?
I had a little bit of a writer's block a few years ago. And with that, I wasn't paying attention to my actual website domain. And I didn't realize that it was coming up that I needed to, pay for like my annual fees and dues and stuff. And I wasn't paying attention to it. I kind of had writer's block, so I was out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
And in that time, because my website is such a catchy name, Short Dude Big City, somebody purchased that name, the domain name.
Wow.
And so when I went to go, pay for it, to reestablish it or whatever. It said that it was owned by somebody else. So I had to track down the person who owned it and, try to bargain with them just to try to get it back, to try to purchase it back.
Yeah, exactly.
And so they wanted like a whole lot of like crazy money for it. And I was like, man, this is like a $25 website. Right? Like, you want $700? So long story short, with the help of the COVID money that they was paying us.
That COVID money.
Yeah, I was able to purchase my website back at a price that we both could agree on. But it taught me a valuable lesson is intellectual properties. It's owning your stuff.
That's true.
That you create.
Very true.
And having the ownership. And
That's true.
I went to school for that. So it's like, why wasn't I paying attention to that?
That's true.
So I got that back, and now I'm just like, I got a lot of things that I'm working on, writing and stuff, and just focusing more on the lifestyle side of the blog.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then, so I did check out the blog, and then I also know you have a podcast.
Yes.
So the podcast for me is a little wild. I ain't gonna lie, it's a little wild, but I do like it because it's super real, and you guys just like have a good time. You guys are laughing. Yeah. I remember one episode on a podcast. I think you guys, if I'm mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong. You guys were talking about, weren't you guys talking about HIV or something? Yeah, you guys were talking about HIV.
Yes.
And I thought that was very important to share that, because now a lot people still don't think that's real. And it's very real. If you could just, share a little bit about that.
Yeah.
About the
I think there was a time when people were dying left and right from HIV/AIDS. It was like a thing. You could see it on people's faces. And it's not so much a thing anymore because we have so many drugs now that help people live healthy lives on it.
Yes. And
so what that show was maybe 2 years ago, but the show basically was like somebody who's living in the life of having HIV/AIDS, how long they had it, how they cope with it, and just their normal routine. And just basically saying these people are people you see every day walking past you all day long. It's just there's no face for HIV/AIDS anymore because everyone looks healthy and everyone looks like they're normal.
Sure.
So it's like, what is HIV? What is AIDS? Like, what is it to us? And so we're just trying to wake people up and get people in the mindset of knowing that it's, there's people walking around every day with it, and they're living healthy lives, and it's not a death sentence. So I think that was the main point of what we were trying to say in that show, and then also just giving people the guy that we were interviewing, giving him a voice and putting a face with this whole
because
what do you call it? I guess you don't call it a pandemic. What do you epidemic?
Yeah, epidemic. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, exactly.
Giving that a face, a healthy face, and showing people this is what it looks like now.
Exactly.
So we got a lot of feedback. Great. It was an awesome show. I learned so much. And with that, that was one of our, last real serious shows. We kind of jump around. But yeah, we're done. That was our last season.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Yeah. Nice. So, that's what, a little bit of why, me seeing the podcast and me doing this now is just like, oh, cool. If he could do it, I could do it. Just your podcast inspired me to do, give me the confidence to do it. You know what I mean? To do something like this. I know a lot of people, when I started this, they were like hella shocked. Because I don't think it was shocked because I'm doing this. I think they was just like, damn, this fool, he on the talk shows now. And anyway, so your place is amazing. I've told you several times. I'm sure you've helped so many other people out with interior design. I like that you use a lot of plants. That's super important. For those that are barely tuning in to Garden Talks or have your first episode here, just to let you know, plants are not only just a look, plants are happiness, plants are oxygen, plants give style. Plants offer so many things, but what goes into, your mind when you're, designing for someone else other than yourself? Like, what goes into that?
The most important thing to me, because, if I'm going to put plants into this space, I'm thinking about lighting. So I'm thinking about, as soon as I walk into an apartment, I'm like, what type of lighting do you have? And that's something that I learned a few months ago, maybe like 6 or 7 months ago.
And lighting, we're talking about the sun.
The sun, yes. So when people tell me, I just got this new apartment, I want you to come over and do it. I'm like, okay, is your apartment, your windows face the south, or do they face the west?
Exactly.
I ask those questions, and people are always like, why are you asking me that?
Yeah.
What area is the south? I don't know. So, you get your best lighting if you have windows facing south. because that's when the sun is coming up and you're getting that sun popping right in.
Exactly.
You also get good lighting when your windows are facing the west, because the sun is coming from like the southwest area, and then it's also you're just seeing that sunrise.
Okay.
Without any like blockage, like buildings and stuff in front. So I think about lighting, and then also I think just about the space. And you just don't want to just put plants and put paintings and whatever. You don't want to just put it in an area that looks good. It has to make sense.
Exactly.
And you just don't want to you don't want to clutter things up. And I always tell my friends, they say, well, I just bought all this stuff and I'm just going to put it in there and let you move stuff around. And I'm like, nah, it has to tell a story.
Yeah, that's not how it works.
It has to go together.
Yeah,
like my mom always says, things have to match.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It has to go together. And it's not all about matching per se, but it's all about telling a story. I like for my crib, my house, to tell a story. So
same here. That's how I kind of design my house, which you'll be over because we don't design it. We just put things where it looks nice. But I think you could come in and do some dope stuff because I'm looking now and I'm like, damn, man, you need to come tonight. But anyways, okay. So about the sunlight, things like that. What kind of advice would you give someone that is? Because I know you don't garden, you have plants, but if there was any advice you would give to someone with a smaller space and let's say a balcony, because I run into people all the time like, yo, like I live in an apartment, I got a small balcony. What kind of ideas would you give, or which route would you take or give advice for?
I like to get a feel for the person. And you can kind of base what you want to do with somebody's apartment off of their personality.
Exactly.
You meet somebody that's pretty chill and say they have a hectic life at work and, they're always stressed out at work and but they want to come home and they want to be in a space that's kind of like tranquil or whatever. Then I'll probably recommend to them like a kind of like a meditating space or something that kind of gives off take me away or just take me out of here. Just a space where you can feel comfortable and you can relax. And so it all, to me, when it comes to balconies, I think are the best. I wish I had a balcony.
Yeah, me too.
but balconies are the best because it's just so much you can do with a balcony, and it's just like a blank slate or a blank canvas. There's so much that you can do with it. So I vibe off of you. If I'm for you, say you had a balcony or whatever, I would know exactly what I want to do with it.
What would you put?
Well, you like a garden. You're a gardener.
Yeah, true.
So I would look up, maybe some different type of propagating fixtures and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I would also do they have those urban gardens that hang over your windows.
True. Nice.
Set that up. Yep. Maybe a couple palm trees in a cut.
Yeah.
And
I hope y'all listening. This is good information right here.
And then a nice rug or something. A lot of times, bohemian rugs look really, really sick on
the patios.
On patios, and depending on your aesthetic, you can go different routes with your type of rug that you choose, but. Something like that, man. Maybe even a fountain or something. A whole Zen garden.
Yeah, a whole Zen. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. And a couple more other questions before we end. So the plant next to your left, you got 30 of them in the house.
34.
34. So tell me about that plant. I know it's your favorite. You don't even have to tell me it's not your favorite, but what's the name of that plant? And how long do they really take to grow to that height?
So this is a fiddle leaf fig. I like to call them the hype plants because so many people are always after these plants. This one is the bird of paradise is another hype plant. Okay. But they just look so dope. I like the foliage on them. They just always come out.
Yeah, that's good. The thing I see.
There's always so much reward. It sounds corny as hell, but there's always so much reward when these plants grow because they're so funny acting.
No, yeah.
So when it starts to grow out, you're like, I won.
I feel you.
So with this plant, it's more of a plant, but it's really, they grow into huge trees. And you can even see some out here and outside. But I like to say it's at plant stage right now because it's still green in the stem a lot.
Oh, I see.
And it'll start to brown. It'll start to get that bark over time. But with this one, his name is Gus.
Gus.
Name. Plain basic ass name. But this is Gus, and he's my second fiddle leaf. And I have them in a lower light area, but what you do is, man, you gotta just pay attention to it.
Yeah, just pay attention.
Whenever it gets like this like brown, but it gets like a brown little like cup over the bud right here, but you peel the brown cup off of the bud here, and it'll start to sprout.
Oh, nice.
So you just have to pay attention to it, and over time, like the one I have back there, you can't really see it right now. I peeled off the cup like right before I went on vacation 2 weeks ago. And maybe 3 or 4 days, it's just starting to sprout out like in 3 different ways. So now it's starting to turn into a tree. So that's what I said back to being a plant versus a tree. So over time, it'll start to sprout out, and that's when you get your tree effect.
Nice.
Yeah. So you just have to pay attention to it, and you know it's a living thing. So you just have to watch what it's doing and make sure that you're doing everything that you can do to promote the growth.
Very true.
Yeah.
Same thing with my garden when I grow vegetables. I don't do the houseplants so well, but vegetables are my shit.
So you got that, and I don't have that.
So we'll team up. We'll do something. We'll get a damn lemon tree hanging down from the roof or something. All right, so we're about to end. Daebrian, it was good talking to you today. Man. Anything else that you wanted to share with anyone or anything before you get out of here?
Yeah, so check out my website. It's www.shortdudebigcity.com. All one word. I got some new stuff coming to you in the next couple of weeks. I got some new visuals coming as well.
Nice.
So check that out. Also, you can find me at Daebrian O'Berry on Instagram. That's DAEBRIAN O'Berry, like the fruit.
Thank you, brother. Again, cheers to long life, prosperity, and I thank you guys for tuning in again. If you haven't caught any of the other episodes, you can do so at daegardens.com. You can also find that on our Instagram and our bio. Like I always say, we're always growing, forever learning. Catch you guys later. Peace.